Good evening. We are doing Emphasizing Resources, Somatic Trauma Therapy and Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, Chapter 7, Lori Whittick and Charles Steinbach. Our subject is covering somatic trauma therapy, which uses body awareness and resources, as well as learning how to put on the brakes. We identify past and present resources that can be used to superimpose an impression on the negative memory or trauma. Also, cognitive behavioral therapy can be used to increase an individual's ability to think and apply quick exposure to the past. This presentation will inform the audience about somatic trauma therapy, explain how to use body awareness to inform client understanding, and present a case study using somatic trauma therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy. Our positions: I have not had a lot of training in this somatic therapy, and so I am coming from this as a learner and am looking forward to learning these skills to be able to use this with individuals who are suffering with trauma.
I have used this many times in my life, and I still use this today. It is very, very beneficial to when I'm getting too overwhelmed by situations or thoughts or feelings or emotions, to keep in check what my body and my mind are doing at the same time. The purpose of the somatic trauma therapy, the purpose of the therapy was to make a connection of what the body was undergoing and experiencing as the client thought about the environment. Also, the different reactions when different thoughts about the environment were exposed, to help keep a connection from feeling how a feeling reacts, consciously aware of the body anxiety, can it create a state of emotions, and to listen to anxiety of the experience in the environment. The purpose, the process is, it's a lot of, variation is different from people to people, but it just helps people become aware of their breathing, their heart rate, their temperature, sensitivities to things that they experience throughout the day about their traumatic experiences. When it's appropriate and safe, go deeper into the memory and keep on checking the somatic process. When negative memories is aroused, superimpose it with the positive memory. So that means like change your thought processes and keep an eye on what your body's doing at the same time.
In our case study, the client was a 35-year-old woman named Esther, who had lived in Cedar Creek. She had moved away and then came back with others for a training. And while in Cedar Creek, she suffered some trauma, some things because of trauma that had taken place in her past while she lived there. She had several unresolved trauma issues. In the treatment, the therapist asked Esther to process her trauma by asking her to picture a snapshot of the negative association with Cedar Creek, and then a snapshot of a positive association with positive resources. And those resources were situations, events, people, things that created a positive response in her. And that was, as we said before, superimposed over that negative snapshot. The therapist then asked her to describe her physical reactions to these snapshots and to reflect on the differences between them. The outcome, after she experienced the trauma therapy, she was calmer because she could understand the influence of the traumatic event on her current physiology. She benefited from identifying her somatic reactions and assessing resources associated to her memories.
This is a conclusion. She, through the identifying and naming somatic reactions to negative snapshots, traumatic events that took place in this town, and replacing them with positive memories and resources, Esther was able to connect with herself. She was also able to recognize that her associations with Cedar Creek were much more higher than she originally believed, because of the negative association had overshadowed the positive ones. Somatic trauma therapy allowed her to enjoy the time in Cedar Creek during initial visit, and she was reported no discomfort during the following 2 trainings. And it's really important.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that it's really important that it helps a lot to identify what's happening to your body and what's going on in the environment. And here are references. And thank you.